got out the new S-Twing 8-pound maul, 30-inch eucalyptus, really dry and cracked, which helps. But still, these solid chunks here trying to split across there, where it's still solid wood and trying to go across the grain, it's pretty tough. But the S-Twing 8-pound goes right through it. I kind of picked all the hard shots and split those in half. And I've been coming back with this just a little 4-pound axe with kind of a wood bullet profile on it. Works real good for just breaking these little pieces up once it's to that point. I'm glad I missed that with the saw and found it with the splitter. Old fence staple or something in there. I'm gonna try to split a little bit of this green eucalyptus I just cut up. I've heard split it green, and then it's really hard to split if you let it sit for a year or two. I think I cut this down this winter, so it's still pretty fresh. I took a couple whacks on my chopping block there already with the Fiskars 5-pound. You can see right there. That only went about 2 inches in, and I managed to split a little sliver off, but that's kindling, not firewood. And if I go further in, it just gets stuck in there. So I went and found the smallest, straightest grain piece I could from all this wood that I just cut, and I'm gonna try that. In the past, it kind of seemed like when I'd cut green stuff that the trunk wood would kind of split halfway easy and the limb wood wouldn't, and this is gonna be limb wood. I think the easiest thing is just to let it sit for 20 years. That being said, there's a bunch of different, like 250 different species of eucalyptus. So maybe we'll try the Council got the Council 5-pound splitter, and then this Fiskars, just because that's what's handy right here. Probably just watch them get stuck. I stand corrected, but that thing, now that I look at it, had a big old dry void with bug holes and stuff down through the middle, so it was not solid. Actually splits easy. Let me get a more solid piece. Maybe it's my lucky day and this stuff will split green. Whoo, like rubber. I'm going about 4 inches in from the edge, and this Fiskars has a sharp angle, but it's just bouncing right back out. Oh, hey, a little tiny crack to the outside. But this is a joke, it's not going anywhere. So, here's what I'm getting. Not much. I think this is hydraulic splitter stuff. All right, so this is the green one I was just whacking on with the 5-pounders. That one there, I think, is a year old, and I've had people ask about the weight and density of this stuff, and you can look up specs online, but like the weight per cubic foot. But this round is 12 inches in diameter and 16 inches long. So is that one. That one's been drying for a year. This one weighs 62.5 pounds, and that one weighs 55 pounds. I've got some 8-pounders here, kind of the last hurrah just to see. I have an isocore, the Estwing 8-pound, a Still, which I think is an oxen cough 8-pound, and then my favorite Chinese 8-pound. Kind of one of those funny underdog stories. I bought the head on eBay because I had this idea that I was going to make a wedge banger out of it. It has an axi maul, and I was going to mill the sides down to 5 or 6 pounds and use it to pound wedges or something. And it was a thin enough profile, I figured I could still use it for chopping and stuff. And it's also the first one that I did a cross wedge on, and it seems to be holding up real nice and tight. And I just had a hardware store handle laying around from a long time ago, and I just stuck it in there, and I discovered that I really like a little bit of a curved handle for a splitter versus a straight handle. And I like this profile. When I'm splitting, I can usually stick it in, crack the log, twist the handle and rotate the log, and just crack and rotate and work my way all the way around. As far as profiles, it's probably about the same angle as the new Estwing, maybe a little sharper. I think the Still is the sharpest angle, and the Isocore is probably pretty close too. I guess let's start with the Still. And I'm gonna try this green one again, and then I'll try that one that's been sitting for a year. I'm on concrete with a piece of plywood to kind of protect the splitting implement. Just bouncing. Can hear chips bouncing off the metal building. Just digging a hole in the top of this round. Try the other side. Nothing. Estwing. You know, that Estwing feels a little heavy for 8 pounds, and it seems to hit pretty hard too. If I can get it going. Oh. So here's what I got. This is where I had been beating on it. I've actually got a crack started across here. I might get something. Over here it was just running this way out through the sapwood. Yeah, I want to put that Estwing and the others on a scale. I think that Estwing is heavier. I'm going to try the Isocore. Kind of like the feel of the Isocore handle better. The Estwing is really wide. Got a crack started, but really just don't think it's gonna go. I feel like I can get the best velocity with my Chinese 8-pounder. Let's try the one that's a little bit drier, yeah? Maybe a year or two is all it takes. Not bad. Yeah, dry is the way. Okay, Happy New Year. Couldn't resist. I flipped that round over and hit it in the same line from the opposite end. Several whacks with the est-wing and it finally went, but that's way too much work for one little sliver of firewood.